All right, what's up, guys? I think we're live now. Let's see, I'm seeing the comments. Let me just pull you up real quick. All right, cool. All right. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna talk about. Wanted to talk about the mats a little bit. So I think there's still some loose ends that need to be tied up, and I don't know how much is like in stone yet or not. But hey, what's up, Bigfoot? Um, but the mats, if you guys are close to Las Vegas in any way, you should be considering the mats. So if you're watching Sort of Stock Mopars, hey, what's up, Jay? Eric, what's going on? Hey, Ruben, if you're watching this, I sent you the link in Messenger. And Jeremy, if you are watching this, right on. It's cool. But yeah, guys, if Las Vegas is a reach or is close enough for you to reach, like Ruben was saying in Jeremy's live just a little while ago, it's a good excuse to kind of put a fire under your butt and get your project car finished and running and driving. So we're going to actually have there's going to be a group of us. Chris Albrecht is heading. That is, it's called Muscle Car or Project Cars at the Strip. So basically, go look up his posts like on Instagram and on Facebook, and you want to make sure that you take a picture of your car with hashtags for Project Cars at the Strip, Talking Mopars, MATS LV, which is Matt's Las Vegas, and get your car together, bring it out. So, what's up, Ruben? Long time no see.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Not much, man. I don't know what happened to Jeremy. He's probably taking a bathroom break or something. Oh, there he is.
Hey.
What's up, dude?
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Boy, it's a lot nicer when you talk to both of you at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, the YouTube thing's cool, but they need to make some tweaks on that beta version.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, they're trying to push the whole vertical shorts type of thing,
Yeah.
I thought so. My understanding was when you do that, you could pass off, like you started the live, right?
Yep.
I think you can pass it off to like if you wanted to pass it off to Ruben and you leave and you're gone and it's like Ruben's live now. But
so I looked, but I didn't see any option for it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was supposed to work that way, but I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's
a little different. But yeah, dude, we didn't get to talk about where you're at with your charger. Like when we were talking about tonight, I was like, wait a minute. He's bringing
I'm already stressing out about Jeremy's project, man. I'm like, dude, after we shut down the live, I'm like, all right, I need a beer. I'm already stressed out, dude.
Yeah, I know. I don't mean to sound like a dick, Jeremy, but I'm like, I don't have high hopes of that car making it.
It's like, just because you said that, I'm going to try even harder.
Good. That's good.
Dude,
good
sometimes that's the thing, man, is when
I had to drive there so I could take it on a trailer, back that puppy off, and then crawl to my spot.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I might still do that. I may not be going on the cruise, but I could jump in one of your guys' car.
I was going to say, yeah, you could just jump in one of our cars, dude. But I definitely want to do that cruise down the strip, dude, and we'll find like a good restaurant or something.
Dude, can you imagine, even if we only had, let's just say 5 or 10 old school Mopars going down the strip, like you don't want to miss that. You want to be in that.
Cool.
Even if you're on the passenger seat filming or something like that, I think that's going to be pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There was I think I can't remember if it was you, Jeremy, or if it was Chris, but like I had when we were at Duct Tape, you guys were all sitting on the car, like on the back and on the front and everything. And where I had the cameras, I didn't really get that footage, but one of you guys was in the back or something like that. And you're kind of like panning around. It was like, I was like, dude, that has got to look so freaking cool from the
Mhm.
outside looking in, you know?
Oh, dude, yeah, that was me. I was sitting
It
on the
was
back, and I think Chris was recording too, but I was on your trunk and
Yeah.
like cruising up to the staging lanes.
Yeah,
seeing
yeah,
you with your helmet on, Chris up on
Yeah.
the fender recording too. It was really cool.
yeah. Yeah,
And
but
then in
Chris-
my video, I was walking along you guys. So in my video, when I was panning them around, you got to see all of you guys riding on the car.
That's cool.
oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Maybe I saw that. Maybe it's a combination of seeing both of your videos or
That's
something.
the cool thing, man, is all the different angles that we all bring to it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, most definitely. Well, I was
That's
just
the cool
thinking,
part.
it's like, God, that just looks so freaking cool because I had such a good time there, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So did I. That was a lot of fun. Even though,
Yeah.
I mean, man, we got rained out the first day completely, and then the second
know.
day was cut short as a half day. Like that really sucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. But you know what though? What I told myself is, you're gonna have that at events, dude.
yeah,
I mean,
it
they
must
do that
happen.
yearly. I'm like, no year is gonna be perfect. It was almost like the event was due for some rain. You know,
Mhm.
because it's been such good weather during that event all the time.
But
You know?
Saturday made up for it because Saturday was like awesome. The whole day it was awesome. You
Yeah.
know?
Maybe I'm just a little butthurt because I was in the staging lanes, number 2 to go with all those tweaks, and then it rained out and they stopped. And I was like, "Come on!" I found all these problems. It wasn't even me. It was Mike from Frey Bodies Only. It was like, "Hey, let's
I'll
look
just
at
say hi
this."
to everybody in chat real
Fuck
quick.
that.
Hey, everybody in chat.
Oh,
yeah, what's up? Oh, Joe says he's going to be there. I know Joe's getting work done on his 66 Charger. So Jay says he's 25 hours away from Vegas, so I guess that's not doable, which I don't blame him because that's probably, I'm not sure how many hours it is to Sykeston, but it was like, man, that's just so freaking far.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
at 2022, and
Okay.
yeah, that's a
Dude,
fucking haul, dude.
Can you imagine if I did go to Sykeston and I had those flat tires? That would have been
Oh
bad.
man.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, I mean that was like
Yeah.
that was like an adventure just coming back from. And you know, this is kind of our first live that we've done since Duct Tape. We didn't like do it after Duct Tape live or anything.
No, we really
Maybe-
You know,
let's
so
talk about it then.
a lot of people probably have no idea what we're talking about. So, I had Tall John, I had Chris Albrecht in my truck, and Richard and his buddy were in his truck, and they were almost at my house. We were almost in Phoenix, and Johnny calls, and Johnny not only had one flat tire, but he had a flat tire, and his spare was flat now. So Johnny is actually in the opposite direction. And I'm like 30 minutes from home. So we went all the way into town on a Sunday, got Johnny tires at, where did we go? Where's that? The
Tractor
Tractor
place.
Supply.
Tractor Supply. Yeah.
And drove back out in the middle of nowhere, and the freaking tire didn't fit, dude.
Yeah.
And then I felt bad leaving you there, but I'm like, dude, my girl's got to be at work in an hour. I got to get Chris on a plane in an hour.
Yeah.
Frickin', we had all kinds of
was-
stuff going on.
It was a nightmare. I don't think I even told the story actually on any of my videos.
No,
think we
I
talked
have
about
it in my video, so people, you know, if anyone ever makes it to the end of that video, they'll know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So the first flat we were leaving, and we were still pretty much in Tucson. You know, we were in a populated area, and actually Patrick Hall, he's got like a 85 Dodge D150. It's dropped. The thing looks pretty sweet. He saw us. He pulled over, and they helped us out. But you know, it was no big deal. It's like I got a spare. Luckily, it was on the right side too, so I put the spare on, and then we hit the road again. And so, and I was flying, dude. I was probably doing like, I'm gonna guess 80-ish. You know, pulling the car trailer and everything.
Yeah.
After that, I'm like, I don't have any more spares. All these tires are old. And I know the spare tire is older than the 4 on the trailer because I took the best tire from the last batch to make it my spare, right? And then we got way out in the middle of nowhere. Like we are in BFE, and we're going slow, dude. You know, we're trying to keep the speed down so we don't blow a tire. And sure shit, my spare tire blew up. And it blew up. My wife goes, she looks at me and she's like, now what? And I go, we're fucked. We're fucked. I got no more spares. It's a Sunday. Nobody's open. Like, I don't know what to do. You know, I pull over and I'm like, oh shit, what do we do? What do we do? And I thought of these guys. I was like, well, you know, we're in Arizona. Maybe Ruben is close by. I don't know. Let me call those guys up. And they went way out of their way to get a spare tire. And my trailer, here's the shitty thing too. My trailer is Chevy bolt pattern. So it's 5 by 4 3/4. I've got on the Belvedere, there's like 2 brand new tires on the front of the car, but it's Mopar bolt pattern. And it's like, you're just looking at those tires wanting to just take them off and put them on the trailer. And I can't. Plus I had 2 shitty tires because I thought about doing the burnout box thing. I had 2 shitty tires in the trunk of the Belvedere that would have been like really back up. But again, Mopar bolt pattern. So I'm like, shit, this sucks. So they stopped by the tractor place. They got a spare tire. They came way out of their way to bring it to me. And it's like, nope, don't fit. Like, I'm like, shit. And yeah,
So what you're saying is you're going to make some modifications to your trailer and go Mopar.
Yeah. Everything's got to be all tires for all vehicles must be interchangeable.
I bought wheel adapters that go from Chevy to Mopar. I'm going to throw in the truck. So if I'm ever in that kind of situation, I can at least throw the wheel adapter on there and throw a Mopar wheel on the trailer if I have to. At least, you know, because I couldn't even limp it. We started to limp it after those guys took off. I'm like, all right, you know, Ruben, what's the name of that town again, Ruben?
Gila Bend.
Gila Bend. And I was like, well, I think it was 20 miles away or so. And it was like, well, let's just try to limp it. And so we probably went a mile, dude. And I'm like, there's no way, dude. We're going so slow, and the tires just like chucking pieces off, you know. And I'm like, this ain't gonna work. So I said, we got to drop the trailer. So while we're limping along, my wife called. She was going on the internet trying to find a tire place that's open. By the way, AAA was totally no help whatsoever, because as soon as I said I'm not in California, they're like, oh, you got to do everything online. You couldn't talk to a human being. And then they're like, oh, do you have a spare tire? And I'm like, well, no, I don't. And they're like, oh, you need a tow truck. And it's like, well, it's not for the truck. You know, it's not for my truck. It's for the trailer. It's like, God, what the hell? So they wanted you to pick a mechanic shop somewhere, and then they would send a tow truck to pick you up and take you to the mechanic shop. But this is Sunday. Everything's closed. So I'm like, I'm freaking stressing, man.
Dude, it was crazy, dude. You were out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Nowhere. This part, we were in the desert. I was like, all
right, brother.
Nothing close by.
Shit.
So Laura found this place. It said it was open. Turns out it wasn't, but it said it was open. I said, all right, this is our new plan. We're going to drop the trailer. So we dropped the trailer. I freaking boogied, like we're doing 100 down the freeway in the truck to get to, because it's like, I think we got the flat originally around 2:00 or something like that, or 1:30, somewhere in there between 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 3:00 now. This place closes at 5, and I'm like limping along like this. It might take a couple hours just to get to this Gila Bend. So I'm like, I can't take that chance. So I dropped the trailer. I put both flats in the back of the truck, boogie down to Gila Bend. We get off, and it's one of those towns that there's nothing. It's like there's very few places. There's population is like maybe, I don't know, 4,000 people or something like that.
No, dude, it's like 500.
It's like 500 people.
Yeah.
We stop at this tire shop, dude. It's freaking closed. I'm walking around it. It's closed. And I'm like, fuck, you know? So I called him, and the dude's like, oh yeah, I could send a guy down to open it up. And I'm like, okay, cool. He goes, well, let me see. He wasn't confident about it though. He's like, let me try to call my buddy to go open up the shop. So we hang up and we're waiting and waiting and waiting. Clock's ticking. And I'm like, if this doesn't pan out, I need to move on to plan B. Like, so I'm like, let me call him back. I'm like, hey, dude, did you get a hold of him or what? And he goes, yeah, he's on his way. I'm like, all right, cool. So they're like, hey, did he tell you it's $100 to open up the shop on a Sunday? And I'm like, no, but like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Never mind. I'll come back tomorrow.
They're like, they don't care. They'll go back to drinking beer and eating carne asada.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
So he opened it up, cost $100. The tires weren't too expensive. I think they were like $120 a piece or something like that. So we got 2 spares. Or I got 2 tires replaced, the 2 flats. Boogied back to the truck, fix the flat there, and then put the other one, the other spare, back on the side of the trailer. So we got 3 shitty tires on the trailer and 1 good one, and we're doing like 55.
Getting caught up on the chat. It's on my phone, dude. So I'm having to do all this on my phone. Yeah. We got Jay, we got Leighton Welding in here. We got Blake for batteries in here.
Oh, cool.
What's up, Blake? King Eric. What's up, brother? And we got Jeremy Spears is in here. And Joe's Mopar Mess. We got Bigfoot's in here. We got all the peeps in here, man. So yeah,
cool cats, dude.
Shockingly, we didn't do any kind of live after duct tape, but yeah, man, duct tape's duct tape, dude. It's a good ass time, man. And I didn't make it very far down the track. Actually, I made it almost all the way down the track before my transmission blew up.
Yeah.
But
if you watch my video, see the Zamboni cleaning up Ruben's mess.
Oh, dude, I was surprisingly not even mad about that, dude. I was just like, whatever, fuck it.
Throw your hands up and be like, all right, here we go.
What can I do? I'm like, whatever, dude. So,
yeah, like,
and I think it's because I built it. Yeah, I think it's because I built it. Like if I had paid, like if that was a CRT transmission that I just freaking grenaded, I would have cried. You know what I mean? But the fact that I built it and I knew I had another one literally on my bench that I was going to build anyway, just to keep the information fresh.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever, I'll just build it. But I actually was at a meeting. Let me get something real quick. Speaking of transmissions.
Yeah, those 727s, they're super easy to rebuild though. Like they're so easy. It's nice. I was afraid the very first one I cracked open. I think I was like 24 years old, 23 years old, but it was really easy to rebuild.
They are. I actually paid, I think it was like $1,200 at the time, and then had it freighted to my work because I blew up a transmission in my truck. Mm-hmm. And after that, I was like, I gotta learn this shit. And I just grabbed one of the factory manuals I had, and I just walked through that. Dude, it's easy. You get the kit, and it's pretty simple.
I think I spent like $200 on the kit. And I didn't get like the bare bones one. I got one with
the freaking kit. The kit I got local from this shop here in British called Transtar.
Mm-hmm.
$90, dude.
Oh, nice.
And it came with everything except for new clutches, but I didn't need them. So I was at a Mopar meeting this week, and I was talking to a guy. He's been drag racing. I mean, he never stopped drag racing. This guy has a car that's in the 9s. Old dude. He's got to be almost 70. And we were talking about my transmission and, what I did to it. And as soon as I mentioned 5.0 ratio arm, he went, oh, no. He goes, you'll crack your transmission.
What?
I said, what? And he goes, yeah. He goes, everybody I know that's put one in has cracked it. He goes, I've cracked one. He goes, he goes, 3.8 or 4.2. That's as good as you want to go. He goes, those 5.0 ones, he goes, there's so many modifications that you have to do the transmission. He goes, they're really built for race transmissions. He goes, and then even then you risk the risk of cracking your case. And I show him the picture of my cracked case, and he goes, yeah, that's where they crack, right in the back right there. And I go, oh, I thought it was my drive shaft, because my drive shaft was it looked like a piece of oak wood. He goes, no, if it would have been your drive shaft, he goes, your tail shaft would have cracked. He goes, but anytime you see a transmission that's cracked right in front of the tail shaft. He goes, it's that 5.0 rod that everybody says to get. Oh, throw a 5.0 in there, dude. It'll shift like a maniac. First of all, the 5.0 does not help your shift. It just holds the band longer. So you don't get an overlap between the 1-2 shift. I threw the 5.0 in there before I did research. And then after, it's funny how you start doing research on your own after your shit blows up. Then you're like, okay, let me actually learn some shit here. And yeah, the 5.0 band or ratio arm, because this grabs your band, and it actually does not help it shift faster. What it does is it helps the overlap between the 1-2. It holds it longer. But yeah, don't put one of those in your transmissions.
So that's the root cause. You finally
That
got.
was the cause. It was this.
Wow, that was way out left field. I didn't even know you put that in your tranny.
Yeah, Warren told me to. The Warren from Tucson, he's got one in his transmission. So I'm going to tell him, dude.
Like, be careful. He's got that
There's
built
a host.
I wonder if it's maybe that's a cause for it living a little bit longer.
Yeah, I know. You know, Warren was like, "Oh, throw one in," and then I tried to do research on it, and all over the forums, people were like, "Oh yeah, I put one of those 5.0 ratio arms in there," and it's just like that's where it ends. Like nobody explains what they did to the transmission after that. There's so many things. You have to have a host of different clearances for your transmission. Your end play has to be insanely something different. Your springs and the forward clutch with all your springs have to be a different type of string with a different strength, dude. It's just, you don't throw this in like I did. You know what I'm saying? This isn't just a mod. You know what? Another thing I want to do I'm going to take that out because I'm going to build another 727 next year. But this one, I'm going to take that blocker rod mod that I did out too, because that can fuck your shit up. It's like all these mods that I just threw at my transmission that everybody told. Like I picked a mod from every friend that I had that told me to do something to it, and I was like, I'll just do all of them. I'll have the beefiest transmission in the world. Yeah, it shifted like a maniac, which it's not supposed to do that. Remember, I was saying how it shifts like an S10 pickup truck's rear-ending you. That's bad. Not supposed to do that. So anyway,
I think too, the problem with like forums and even some of the YouTube channels is you get a failure like that, and then the person is reluctant to say, this fucked up my transmission, or that thing I told you guys to do fucked it up. So like those guys on the forum, maybe 3 of those guys had a failure, but nobody ever bothers to go back and say my fucking transmission blew up, let alone they may not even know that was the root cause, So that's kind of the problem with some of these issues that, unless you get somebody that really knows their shit that pipes in and says, well, did you make all these other modifications? Well, first of all, you need somebody to admit my transmission blew up. And then somebody that knows what they're talking about says, did you make all these other modifications? You say, no. Oh yeah. You can't just throw that in there without modifying these other things, Yeah. So that's kind of one of the risky things about taking people's advice on YouTube or forums or anything like that. You got to take it with a grain of salt. So I always try to throw all my failures. I try to throw it up there so people learn from.
Dude, that's the way I am, man. And sometimes I feel, I don't know, not stupid, but I'm like, should I put myself in this kind of a light? And I just, because I'm documenting my journey, right? So 10 years from now, I hope mechanically I'm a different guy. I hope my cars are completely different cars. And I hope I can look back at my drag racing beginnings and be like, oh, God, dude, did I really freaking do that? Oh, my God, Yeah. So, but I probably get one email a month from somebody that says, hey, man, thanks for putting it all out there. Thanks for doing what you're doing. I'm starting out this car thing too. And it kind of makes them feel okay to fail as well. Because a lot of channels out there, it's just win, right? And then the average guy feels, oh, I can't build an engine, dude. I'm not like this guy. You know, but then they see a guy like me that's about to build his first engine in January, you know,
Yeah.
a 440 that's never done one before. And he goes, oh, dude, I can do it too, man. And this guy built a transmission. I can do it too. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think too, I like to, even my failures, I like to throw them out there, or my problems, you know, because there's a good chance that somebody out there is running into the same problem, you know,
yeah,
and you can steer them clear of it, you know, or even if you don't know shit about anything, because like I don't know everything. I know a lot of shit, but most of it is through experience. And usually it's making mistakes first and then figuring out that that was the wrong way to do it and then doing it differently to figure out that was the right way to do it, you know.
Mhm.
But if
and
you're
the thing about this community that we're a part of is pretty fucking amazing, dude, because um if you need to know something, there's somebody in our community that just did it or has done it.
oh
They can
dude,
tell you. You know what I'm
tell
saying?
me
Like
about it.
one of us, you can lean on somebody in here that's done that. You know, so
No,
and
there's
a lot of the guys in chat too. You got Foots in here. You got
yeah,
Battery in here. You got Rabbit Trans in here. You got Brewer Racing, dude. Brewer Racing, man. I mean,
yeah.
just the
Big
fact
wins.
that just the fact that Brewer Racing talks to me on the phone once a month, and gives me little tidbits about how to go faster. Just to have access to people like that blows me away. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm just like,
I will
wow, what
say
kind
though,
of
like the communities in person are fantastic, and what I've noticed on YouTube is they're really great as well. I don't know if you guys are on TikTok, or I know you guys are on Instagram as well.
Just
But on
Instagram. Yeah.
what I've noticed on TikTok, it's really easy to go and have a video go viral. I've got a few that have like done really well,
Yeah.
but man, you get some straight up trolls. You post a failure on there, and
yeah,
people are
oh
just
yeah, dude.
throwing you under the bus. Like I
Oh yeah.
popped that intake gasket on the Dart at Verona, on the
Uh,
18th, and I had the antifreeze and the coolant, and everyone that I wouldn't say everyone, but a good portion on TikTok at least came up and started just destroying me for running antifreeze at the drag strip. It's like, guys, like I know, it's on the street most of the time. I was too lazy to swap it out. Didn't put anything on the track, and ignoring the fact that some new cars can't run straight water, they have to have antifreeze on there because it's a lubricant for the water pumps. But
yeah.
you got to throw sometimes your failures out there.
Mhm.
Show people, hey, this happened. I'm gonna do this to change it.
Yeah,
YouTube is really great about receiving that and accepting that, but
Yeah.
some of the others are not.
yeah,
No. Yeah.
yeah. No,
Well,
Jeremy. I was gonna get to a comment real quick.
good.
These guys are okay. So the Battery Productions. I still got to watch that video. I haven't watched it yet. It's got a 400 in it. Have you guys seen Battery Productions got a new car?
Yeah, it's
I think
pretty
it's a
nice.
68 Dart.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
No.
congratulations on that, man. So, Blake's got a 400, so he's going to go through the miseries that I'm going through right now.
Nice.
The
I'm
old,
about to go through.
It
yeah,
sounds
dude, these
pretty crap.
400, these 400s definitely need a converter. I will show Brewer Racing and chat that I did get a converter. I didn't go the 3000. I went 2500. But yeah, so this week I'll be undoing everything we just did 2 weeks ago in this guy and putting a converter in. So right now I've got a 1200 stall converter and it's literally like 3000 RPMs. Wah! So you want to be closer to the wah! You don't want to. So I got a ratchet shifter coming. FBO plate. Mopar Joe sent me an FBO plate. So yeah, man, this Roadrunner's got about 10 minutes to get his shit together, or I'm ripping this 400 out and going fucking second mortgage on it.
So, what are your thoughts, Jeremy, on duct tape? Since this is going to be our post duct tape video as well, I think.
So
We should bring in.
love
We
that.
should
That
bring
was
in
my.
one of these. We should
What's
bring
that?
in one of these Sykeston guys, man. I hate saying like duct tape. I feel like it's duct tape and Sykeston. I hate referring to Sykeston guys, but
It was just bad timing, man. I really wish they would have been able to move over, a little bit. But obviously, once you start make
Dude,
it
I
move.
think I could have went
Gotta leave it.
if it wasn't school. If school wasn't in session, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
kids.
and I don't want to, I don't want to say, oh, dude, move Sykeson's dates to accommodate me. I mean, don't fucking accommodate me. But this year, dude, I'm thinking like, dude, I mean, still, it's a fucking haul. It's fucking money. I mean, I don't think I could go every year, but fuck, dude, could I just try to make it 1 year? Probably. And then I think, well, my fucking kids are in school. I still have that fucking dilemma that I had last year. Like, how do I fucking leave my girl picking up fucking two different kids at two different times? And you guys know how that all is. Fucking
Oh yeah,
pickup
yeah. Because
zones and
you were
fucking-
factoring in like 2 days to get there, and then 2 days to get home, plus 2 days for the event, right? So you're
well,
like,
dude, it was going to be 3 days to get there for me.
okay,
Well, that was with Richard coming down here, and then, dude, Richard can't drive fucking 12 hours. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I'm like, I can't fucking. Richard will die on the highway. I was like, Richard, I think max he could probably drive like 8 hours, 10 hours. Well, he drives 12 hours to these events. So, but anyway, that was with Richard going with me. So I was like, trying to take it easy on the guy. So I was like, 3 days.
right,
And then 3 days there, and then 3 days back. That's 9 days.
yeah.
That's a fucking haul, dude.
Yeah. I would definitely love to go though. And maybe if they have one next year, I'd definitely love to check it out.
All right, Blake, catch you later. Hey,
Oh,
Jeremy,
see ya.
real quick, I
Yeah.
invited somebody to come, so I figured we'd talk about duct tape until the fourth person gets here, and then
Okay.
we'll talk about mats.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hopefully, you
So-
can hang out a little bit longer.
For duct tape, right? That was the very first time I'd gone. I know you guys had gone when it was duct tape and when it was zip tie. I mentioned this a couple times, but like, there's a good 6 years of my life where I was just on a boat in the middle of the ocean. That was pretty much what I was doing. So I missed a ton. I was telling the guy who was at the house earlier today that like I kept saying I drag raced, right? But then I realized at one point when I was just in that point where I was leaving the service, going to the reserves, that I hadn't been to a drag strip in like 4 years. So how can I say I'm a drag racer if I haven't been in 4 years? But going to it, it was different than anything I'd ever been to, because there were so many straight hoopties with people that just did not give a shit about the little things and were just there to scream down the track and have a great time doing it. So that was cool. I love that environment.
I love the vibe. The people that were there are, because they're living. It's like participating in a roadkill episode. There were so many people that are like, I just like Ruben. Like, I just installed my transmission 10 p.m. last night, and I made the long haul to get here. And it's like, damn. I mean, there's a lot of people there doing that, and all the cars. I shouldn't say all the cars. There was some nice cars there too running, but there's a lot of ratty cars. I don't know, man. I love the energy there. The people there are all really cool. You can walk up and talk to everybody, and then I kind of like the. It's like a lot of things going on all at the same time. You've got the burnout box, you got drag racing going on, you got like car show stuff, or I shouldn't say, it was like car show stuff, right? They had a car show section.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit. It was a lot of the roadkill cars.
I want to say there was. They had the roadkill cars all kind of collected there on the front, so that was cool. But anyway, I loved it, and it's a little different. Like the first time I went with my buddy Chris Field. He brought his Charger out, and we just went out. We camped on the track, and then I didn't bring a car or anything, so I got to just be like a spectator and walk around and see everything, And then the second time, the Charger, I didn't get to finish the Charger, so I couldn't drive anything, but it was like spectator again, but I still had a blast. And then Ruben was running his car. I mean, it was just, dude, it was awesome. Just like being in the passenger seat of Mr. Hyde and like cruising through the staging lanes and then making some passes and stuff like that. It was freaking awesome. And then this last time it was like a totally different awesome, because you're kind of on the other side, because now you're participating in it.
Yeah.
We had our rematch set up, So we had to do that, and then just
Mhm.
making some passes in general and stuff. You know, it was cool. And then hanging out with you guys, we were all pitted pretty close together.
Yeah,
We
that
all
was
got
cool.
to hang out and stuff and
Mhm.
shoot shit.
I will
And,
say though that I am never bringing a freaking canopy to that event
oh yeah,
ever again.
dude.
I swear to God, I'm so freaking mad. That
Why?
cost
What
me
happened?
$1,000.
How much?
$1,000.
A
That
big
canopy?
gust, dude. A big gust of wind came, and we were all like grabbing our shit. And his like he even had shit weight tied to
Oh,
it,
yeah.
right?
The jack
It
was
took
tied
off
to
and
it.
it
I had it
hit
tied to the
this.
trailer.
It hit a
Wow.
nice Camaro.
Yep, flipped up and hit a nice Camaro, a newer one. I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Shit, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, the guy was pretty cool though. He would definitely work with me and help me out with it. But yeah, it was $1,000 because it definitely dented his fender and scratched his A arm a little bit.
Oh
Like,
man.
So I don't think I'm bringing a canopy again. If it is like showing 110-degree forecast,
Yeah.
maybe I'll do it. But I'm gonna bring some 45-pound weights. I'm not
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
around anymore.
I think I'll keep bringing it, but yeah, I think we'll only pull it out and set it up if it's no wind and it's blazing hot.
Yeah, but it was difficult there because there would be no wind, and then out of nowhere you get a gust that would just plow through the pits.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like it was hard to kind of gauge it. So if I was like in the staging lanes, because I didn't go with any helpers or anything, I was basically just
Dude, we
going to
gotta
hang out
do-
with you guys and
You
race.
gotta do RVs next year.
There we go, RVs.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
We gotta do RVs next year, man. So we don't have to
Oh.
leave. We can just you know what I'm saying?
Well, we're
Have a little
talking
bonfire
about
ourselves.
doing that at Matt's too. Just renting an RV and camping out on the track.
Oh, do they let
Jeremy,
you camp out on the track?
Jeremy, I was trying to think of Friday night the other day, and I'm like, Friday night's a little blurry to me, dude. Around the old campfire, I'm like we were really throwing it back, dude. You know, and I mean, I
Yep.
wasn't super hungover the next morning, but I was just like, okay, guess I did a little drinking last night.
Yeah, I got kind of. I mean, I told you guys when I was there, but like, freaking, I didn't know that hotel had a requirement to check in before a certain time. So even though like I had the room reservation, I paid for it and everything, I didn't get to use the room. I had to crash in my truck.
No shit.
It was too late. Everyone was asleep. You guys were all passed out, and I was like, "Oh crap! Here it is, midnight." I'm like, I can't get into this room. There's no one. There was no front desk, no nothing, none of that. So
What about the gate guard? Didn't
Oh.
it say the security guard would check you in?
I went to go to the security shack, and then there was nobody in the shack. The lights were on, no one there. So I was like, okay,
They didn't have
I'll
a
just
phone
take an
number
Uber
or
back to the
anything?
shack and pass out in my truck.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah,
Wow.
so
That's
next
awesome.
time I'll change that, plan it a little differently.
Dude, that hotel was not bad at all, man.
It looked nice from the outside.
It's you know what I'm saying? It did the job. It did the job, man. So
Yeah,
we got Matt's coming up, man. I'm excited. I'm gonna build this 440. I'm gonna throw it in the Challenger, and I'm driving the fucking Challenger across the fucking desert. You know, like I used to back in the day. I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, dude, me and my buddies when we were younger, we drove our muscle cars everywhere. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
never gave it a second thought.
Yeah, I was blasting across the freaking desert, 69 GTO, 390 rear ends, just RPM screaming.
Yeah.
We didn't know that you weren't supposed to fucking do that. And these cars never broke down. They never. I mean, we would drive them to like, dude, we were in Mexico once a month, dude. We used to go to New Mexico. We'd meet chicks at a concert here, and they'd be like, "Oh, we're from Utah." Like, dude, we'll see you next weekend. We drive to Utah to fucking try to get laid. 19-year-old dudes, you know, we drive to the ends of the earth trying to get laid, you know, but these cars never fucking died. Never fucking died, man. And if I tried to do that, it's like we know too much now, right? We're putting bad mojo on it. If we tried to do that in these cars now, you know?
Yeah, it kind of depends, I guess. You know, here's the nice thing about the Duster, dude, is it is the opposite of the Belvedere, because it's like the freaking Belvedere broke like every time I took it out. It seemed like something else broke on the freaking car, or something went wrong on the car, you know. And I was just getting so burnt out on that damn thing. But the Duster seems to be the opposite. It's like everything is new in the car, everything works on the car. Like it just needs some fine tuning, but it runs, and it's like I don't worry about anything in that car, dude. I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to drive it to Tucson with 410 gears, but
No. Yeah.
but yeah.
I'll let you know a secret though, Johnny. Before the battle in Verona, maybe
Uh-huh.
like 10 days prior, I had in my Summit Racing cart, just waiting to push pay and ship, one of those cheater NOS systems.
Oh yeah.
I could hide this, and Johnny would never know. It's
Dude, that's
I
what I
know
was
he's
gonna
not
do.
bringing
That's
the
what I was
power
gonna
here, but
put.
if I beat him in
I
his
told,
dust frame at the start,
I told Johnny the other day, I was like, that's what I was going to put in your comment section of your video. Big nitrous guy. Dude, yeah,
I
that
know we
little
had a
ball
bunch of
man.
people in the chat that were commenting there. I think I saw like quite a few. Oh, looks like some people were taking off.
I'm on my phone, so it's hard I can't see chat and the stream at the
I
same
know
time.
I can't either. It's making
We got
me
Jay,
Colleen in the
alright,
house.
difficult.
What's
I'll read
going
it.
on? We got JMR in the house.
I'll read the
What's
last
going on,
few.
Battery took off.
Yeah, GMR says that was 1975. Old dude. Colin saying, "What's up, Ruben?" Jay says, "Hey, Colin, Rabbit." Jay says he slept in his pickup bed trunk or tent at Sykeston. Some camped or slept in RVs. And then Joe said, "Ruben, you're telling us that at Verona."
Yeah, I was telling these guys that story. We used to just drive these cars everywhere back in the day.
Yeah. And then
And
Colleen.
thank God nothing broke, dude, because we didn't know how to fix anything. We thought we did, though.
Right?
I just changed my alternator today, dude. You know what I'm saying? We're just, thought we were little badasses.
Colleen says Sykeston was the place to be. I slept in the truck, and Damien slept in the Dart. Bigfoot says I daily drove a 70 GTO 400 4-speed 391s, $5 to drive to town, $5 to drive in town, $5 to drive home. Back when gas was cheap. Yeah.
Yep. Dude, premium wasn't even $1 when I had my GTO. I remember premium hitting $1.10, and me being like, and everyone's like, "Well, you got to pay to play."
Yeah.
When I was graduating high school, gas was a little bit more expensive. It was around like the $4 to $5 range. That was back in like the late 2000s when it spiked up. And I had my 78 Camaro before I jumped into the Mopars, and I didn't know how to build that car, so I threw a 750 double pumper on a stock 350 short block. Didn't need it, and I was getting 8 miles per gallon. I remember I had to go get a third job in high school just so I could pay for gas. I worked farmers markets every Thursday, gave me $36.50 back when minimum wage was real cheap, and that would last me till the next Thursday in gas. That's about it.
Jeremy Spears, he directed me to go up. He's got a question. You mentioned the reserves, Jeremy. 91B?
No, I don't have an MOS. Still commissioned, so I've got another. I guess technically this upcoming year would be my 8 year, but I'll probably stay in the reserves for a little while. So, LT and Navy.
Okay. Cool. Military jargon.
Yep. Ruben knows it.
Yeah.
What was your MOS, Ruben? Do you remember?
I was a bosun's mate.
Oh, BM. Okay, nice.
Yeah. And then just law enforcement. That's all I did all 4 years.
I don't remember what the actual MOS number for that rate was. I don't know if mostly the Army folks are the ones that remember the MOSs.
I don't, dude. I was thinking the other day. I was like, I cannot believe the Coast Guard was 20 years ago for me. Like, holy shit, dude.
I know. Happens
like,
quick, right?
Lives, dude. I'm like, holy crap. And the crazy part is, it's, I couldn't have stayed in just because of the military lifestyle is just so insane, man. I was in for 4 years, and out of those 4 years, I calculated my time, and I actually got this award for it. I was on water almost 3.5 out of 4 years. And I had a wife and kid at the time, dude. So that's why I got out. I was like, dude, I need to see my family.
Yeah.
So I can imagine doing 20 years of that. But if I had, I would have retired 2 years ago. I'd be the age I am right now with the full military retirement, ready for my next thing in life. You know what I mean?
Drag racing, building Mopars.
That's right.
Dude, I'd be Brad from Poor Boy Garage, man. You know, I'd just be.
Yeah.
Well, that's his thing. Is he's retired from the military, so he gets a full
Yeah.
full military retirement. So
Yeah.
he just plays with cars all day.
Yep. It's a nice gig for him. So let me read some more. Bigfoot says, I kept spare change in the ashtrays to use as emergency gas fund. Put in 75 cents once to get home, about 1 gallon. That shows your age, Bigfoot. Because it was like 99 cents for me when I was driving.
$1.56 was the cheapest I've ever seen it.
Really? Damn. When were you born, Jeremy?
92. So I told you that
Damn.
camshaft, that box
Yeah.
is 1990. It was before I was even here.
Yeah.
I'm in the
That's
30s
crazy.
now. I hit 3-0 this year, so I'm feeling my age a little bit. It's starting to show. I can no longer just party all night, wake up at 6 a.m. and go run 5 miles. That's way behind me.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Jeremy Spears
Yeah.
says, officer, good choice. Ha ha. Bigfoot says 13 Bravo. Jeremy says, I was mechanic for 20 years in the Army Guard. And then he says, nice Bigfoot. Thanks everyone for your sacrifices.
So, what's the attendance like for Project Cars of the Strip? So
That's a good question, because I mean, all right, I'll tell you. Chris Albrecht is supposed to be getting on. I don't know when, but since he's being copied on everybody doing their posts, I suppose we can search it, right? If we just do a hashtag search on Instagram.
Oh, you can see everyone that's posted on it. They may show some
Yeah.
duplicates if they've got a couple updates, but
Yeah.
just from what I've seen, I'm assuming it's in like the 8 realm, like the 7 to 8.
7 to 8
Hopefully
cars.
it's a lot more, because I think it's be a great event. I mean, the 3 of us know what is involved in doing something like that, so it's super beneficial to get your car on the road and enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great time.
I should talk to Chris, see if he wants me to do a poster for that.
Oh, dude,
That'd
that'd
be
be
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Do the
Dude,
same-
that'd be cool to have in the garage, to have a Battle in Verona, Project Cars at the Strip, and a freaking dude. We should make one for the next duct tape too. So we have, just a trifecta of 3 posters.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, I don't know if I'm looking at this right. I guess I am. I'm going. Chris is going. Do you guys know Jeremy at Shade Tree?
Yep. I get super jealous pretty much every time he posts a video, because it's a nice new project car coming out.
Shade Tree Vintage Auto.
Cool.
That he's bringing that wagon. It's got a raspy 440 in it, I think, with a cross ram, if I remember right. Who's this? Oh, Flip Flops and Big Blocks. We know Aaron. He was at Duct Tape the last 2 years. He has that blue Charger, which is primer at the moment. It looks like. That's all I see for.
He's going all out on that freaking Charger, dude.
Yeah,
Dude, that thing was so perfect. I mean, I hate to. I told him that at the last Duct Tape too. I was like, dude, I hate to tell you people what to do with their shit. And this is the first time I've ever told anybody, but I wouldn't paint this. Like, this has the perfect patina,
Yeah.
But to each their own, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Vince, I gotta bounce. I gotta go pick up the family. Little
Okay,
ones
dude.
need to go to bed.
All
So
right,
if
brother.
Chris does join, tell him I said hi. Appreciate
All right.
chatting with you guys, and everyone in the chat. Thanks for joining in as well.
All right, brother.
See you guys later.
All right, man.
Good luck
Take
on
care.
wrenching this week.
Now there's 2.
Now there's 2, but
Jim
Yeah.
R says 1958. Jeremy Spears says like the Triple Crown of posters. Yeah, dude, it was cool. I think it'd be cool if you do the pic, even if it's just us, dude. You just do the pictures or the posters like we did last time, and we all sign it.
yeah.
I haven't gotten my picture frame yet, but I
I'd
have
like
my.
to have, even if we keep doing them every year, I would like to have one poster. We'll still make posters for everybody that wants to show up, but I'm not, I don't want to fill my garage with 17 Battle in Verona pictures.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'll do one of each event. And I'd like to have a Battle on Verona, freaking Project Cars at the Strip, and duct tape.
Hell yeah.
That'd be cool. We gotta get Bigfoot to come to Mopars on the Strip. I think he's rich. He can make it.
I think you're right. I've met him before.
Have you met him before?
No, yeah, I have. I actually, when I still had a job, I had to fly to Minnesota, and he lives out there in that neck of the woods.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was cool because he came out to the hotel. We had a couple of beers, and he was cool.
Cool.
He's a lot shorter than I thought. He's only about 9 feet tall. Not 12. So
not 12. Yeah, not the Bigfoot. He's not the
still kind of hairy. Yeah.
Yeah, not the squash we thought he was. I saw a Bigfoot shirt in the mall yesterday, and I was going to buy it for him and send it to him, but it was in the kids section. So I was like, no, this probably isn't going to fucking fit him.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's a cool cat.
Cool.
A cool cat. So Minnesota to Vegas, that's a haul. Well, I think isn't Jay's out that direction too, right? I don't think he's in, or maybe he is in Minnesota. I don't know where he's at. He's somewhere out there, right?
Yeah, he's in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, okay.
Yeah, he's in Wisconsin, and yeah, man, I wish I was just rich enough I could just go to all of this shit. Not worry about any of it.
That's what I wish too. When Sykeston was announced, I was like, I was very reluctant to sign up for it because I looked at how far it was, and I was just like, man, it's going to cost a boatload of money and fuel, then hotel, and and if I brought the family, it'd be even more expensive and stuff. And I was like, I don't want to. My secret plan was that, and I know it's pie in the sky, but I was like, man, if this YouTube channel like blows up before then and actually had a decent amount of money pouring into it,
heck yeah.
I would do it. I would do it. They ended up moving the date, so it was over duct tape, so I probably wouldn't have done it. But if it was at its original date and I actually made money from the channel and it could pay for the fuel in the hotel room and all that shit, yeah, that would have been awesome to do. To do that and then go to duct tape a couple weeks later would have been badass. But I don't know. So hopefully someday this channel will take off and be able to do stuff like that, or we will.
I'm starting 2 more YouTube channels at the beginning of the year. I'm not telling anybody what they are. I'm going to start 2 more channels for stuff that I like and stuff that I'm interested in, and mainly as an experiment. Just to learn more about YouTube and see what sticks, what doesn't. So even if I'm making more money off of one of those channels than I say I would this channel, that's the thing. You're still making YouTube money.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you said
start another YouTube channel. Have multiple fucking streams of revenue. Like, do you say you like barbecuing ribs, man? Start a freaking barbecuing rib channel.
Yeah, it'd almost be sad, dude, if something like that took off, because I'm more passionate about the cars.
Dude, I'm telling you, we're not. Dude, I'm all the thinking, all the stuff we talk about YouTube.
Yeah.
And all the conversations we have. It's not that we suck. It's not that, and these guys that are watching right now are like, what are these guys talking about? We're just talking about the size of our channel, and the size of our channel for the universe we're in, like, Mopar Joe and Rapid Transit and Badgery and Bigfoots and all of these channels, Tall John's Fun Shop and all these channels that are in your universe. We're not super small channels. They're smaller channels than us. But when you figure out how long we've been doing YouTube, like, dude, I watched a lady make fucking cupcakes on the internet that's had I meet guys at gas stations, 17-year-old kids with S10 pickup trucks that have like 18,000 subscribers. I'm like,
really?
So it's oh, dude, there's a guy that at my Speedway Motors that has a YouTube channel. Again, LS swapped S10 pickup truck, makes one video a month and has 12,000 subs, dude. Barely makes a video. But the thing about our channels and why it's such a slow growth is we're not, what we're doing isn't the popular thing, you know?
Yeah, it's
Like
not main.
the masses are not typing into YouTube how to squeeze
No.
horsepower out of 906 cylinder heads. You know
No,
what I mean?
they want to talk. It's about Kardashians, or it's about.
But even
Trump,
when it comes to car
Biden.
stuff, these kids are typing in Holly Sniper EFI how to tune laptop, how to connect into your LS system, the Holly Sniper EFI. Holly Sniper EFI, I'm having trouble getting it to connect to my freaking brake or my trans brake. I mean, it's all this, all of the automotive stuff is popular, but the world has moved on, and we're still
Yeah.
holding that torch. You know what I mean?
It's a sad reality. I mean, like, the guys, like my dad's like 80 now. And these guys were the guys that lived and breathed these cars when they were new, and unfortunately they're getting up there at an age where they can't do this shit. They can't go jump into, a truck and drive thousands of miles. What's going on,
Chris,
dude?
What's up, guys?
And unfortunately a lot of them are passing away too, being blunt about it.
And when I say that to people say, "Oh, dude, you're crazy, man. You go to freaking you go to these shows and they're full of Mopars, or you go to these big Mopar meets on the East Coast, and there's thousands of Mopars."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not saying nobody's into Mopars, but the demographic that are into Mopars, it's like that Mopar car club here in Phoenix. That's a state club. That Thursday, dude, you had people come from all over the state of Arizona for that one monthly meeting.
Yeah.
Dude, none of these people are on YouTube.
Yeah. Well,
these dudes are 70 and 80 years old, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And none of these dudes are on YouTube.
Yeah.
They all brought their Mopars. The parking lot looked like a car show. The guy that runs the meeting mentioned in the meeting that I had a YouTube channel, and if anybody wanted their car filmed. And they were like, "He's got a what?" You know what I mean? And I tried to tell, and one of them came up to me and he goes, "What's this thing he was talking about you got on the internet?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a YouTube channel." And he's like, oh yeah, my grandkids do all that. And he's like,
is that where you do the dancing and shit, Ruben?
Yeah. He's like, "What's it called?" And I told him, I go, "Well, take out your phone. I'll go on the channel. I'll subscribe for you, so it'll just show it to you."
Yeah.
He pulls out a flip phone, dude. And I'm like, "Oh, you can't do it on that phone." And he's like, oh, well, I don't want one of those. I'm like, this is the problem. I'm the dude trying to pull as much horsepower he can of a 906 heads. Yeah. These guys love that shit that I'm in the room with right now, but they can't connect to me.
They'll never see your.
If these guys all had freaking smartphones, all our channels would have 20,000 subscribers. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I've got old school guys that are sub to my channel, and they put comments in there all the time. But they're
for sure.
They're probably a small, like out of their demographic, they're probably a really
small.
Oh,
dude, those guys are geniuses. They know how to work the smartphone.
Yeah,
like Vern, the guy that comes over in my garage's wrench today, dude. He's 70 years old, dude.
Yeah. Well, and he obviously found you, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Right? He's like, yeah, I watch your channel.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird to hear somebody say that like in real life, like you're sitting next to him, and you get nervous, and you're just like, "Oh God, you watch my channel? Like, God, dude, don't do that, bro."
I got a great story for you. So let me take a pause for a second. Let's address the comments really quick. Jeremy says, perfect patina. That's awesome. I'm keeping my patina because I'm cheap. Ha ha ha. Hey, and it looks cool. I like patina. Brewer says, very cool guy at a super nice 67 RT. He's referring to Bigfoot. Jay says he's in Wisconsin. We were wondering. We knew it was cold and snowy, but somewhere up there. And then Jeremy says, when you guys talk about these meets, do you drive or trailer? So the thing about these meets that we're all getting together with, we're all kind of spread far apart from each other. And when we go to these locations, like say duct tape drags, or like we're going to be going to the mats, it's a pretty long haul. Like there's no way I can afford to drive one of my Mopars that far, so it's getting trailered. It might make it, and but it'd probably take thousands of dollars in fuel to get there and back. So we trailer them, but Chris can probably spread some light. I don't know how much you've got nailed down for mats yet, but
Sure.
The big thing is when we get there, we're going to have our own section, and we're going to do a cruise down the strip, right? So we will be driving, not driving there and back per se, but we'll be there at the track, and then we'll go for a cruise through town. So if you want to elaborate, feel free.
Yeah. So a while ago now, I don't even remember when, it kind of spiraled because we were already going to muscle cars at the strip, and Mike Coffey reached out to me, and you know how Mike is. He's like, so is that Roadrunner going to be ready by muscle cars at the strip? And I was like, I mean, I would like it to be, yeah. And he issued a challenge. He's like, oh, we should do a challenge. And then we just started reaching out to all our friends.
Yeah, I think I actually started posting it. Like, we're going to do this project car thing at the strip before you guys even decided that maybe we should do something with this. You know?
I hate these challenges. Like they after No Name, I was just like, I'm never going to accept a call out again because it's against my personality not to. But after that, because I hate not coming through with my word. And that's what happened with No Name, and it just pissed me off. That's why I backed out so quick, because I was like, all right, I'm already going to take the L on this one. It's like, I don't want to get people to think I'm going. And
I feel the same way, because when I did it with Jeremy, I mean, there was so much pressure and money we had to dump into the car, and we thought we had plenty of time with 3 months. And it's like, when you have life going on simultaneously, it takes up so much of your time, and like to dedicate a Saturday to wrenching on your car, it's hard. And
that's the hardest.
90 days away right now. Matt's is 90 days away right now. Like, it sounded it's funny because all of this shit sounds good when it's like 5 or 6 months away.
Yeah.
But when you start breaking the 90s, you're like, okay, dude. Have I got myself into this shit, or
you're
what?
not putting hours in every day unless you have a cush job. Like for me, right now, and it's always with these challenges, dude, there's always something that comes up. And right now, since July/August, I have not been getting paid from Facebook. Like they said that I had some issue with my taxes, and I've never had an issue with my tax information or anything like that. So they have $6,000 that they're holding above my head that I earned, and I can't get it. And when you try to reach out to Facebook, it's like a bunch of automated messages. And then when you finally get somebody, they're like, they send you a link. And I'm like, I went to that fucking link and you sent me to support, and your support, you're supposed to help me. Yeah. So I recently finally got a hold of somebody, and they released a certain portion of my money, but I still have $6,000, and I need that money to make this happen. So I really need to, and it's like jumping through hoops with them. But with these challenges, it's something always comes up, and I hate that, because I'm like, I just don't need that pressure. You know what I mean? I have enough shit going on.
Yeah. Well, we were joking with Jeremy that because his CUDA looks so freaking far from being finished. Like there's we were telling that we don't have any faith in him, basically.
that's a hell of a project in 90 days. That's
Yeah,
a hell of
right.
a project in 90 days.
Lot of
Mine,
unknowns.
the saving grace with mine is I can basically just I can plumb the engine bay, which I just got the wiring harness today. Year One sent me the wiring harness, so the engine theoretically can be done in a weekend if I have the rest of the parts I need.
Yeah.
And it's a running car. It ran. It was dynoed. So unless something crazy, like I've been thinking in my head, I'm like, all right, now don't be a fool. Prime it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's got coolant in it. Like I'm sitting there, I'm writing the shit down because I do not want to blow it, because I know that car will run as long as I don't screw up. The car will run.
Right.
And at this point, I'm like, if it runs and drives, it's got no interior, and I'll throw a seat. I got the seats. I'll
Yeah.
throw a seat in it. It's got the call. It's not like with the dumpster fire. For those of you that remember that, that was a giant project. And this Roadrunner that I have now, which Jeremy, I saw your comment. Thank you. It is a very nice car. Completely different. It's basically an assembly project. All the hard shit is really done. And in fact, the car is just too nice for me, to be honest. It's way too nice for me. I'm more comfortable with ratty shit.
Yeah.
I was telling a story on my podcast that I actually scratched it already, and thank God I got the scratch
I heard
out. Thank God. But
Jeremy says, hey, the CUDA makes it there. All three of you better be parked beside me. So, yeah, the thing about these cars, these project cars, is there's so many opportunities to hit a landmine and derail you. And you think like 3 months, just said Ruben, and anything can happen. Like if you need that one integral part, like let's say that harness, and it happens to be in back order. Actually, my Duster, I ordered front tires for it because the old tires were old and sketchy, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to take this thing to the track.
yeah,
It took me 8 months to get those tires, and I got them literally just like a couple of weeks before we went to Verona. So that kind of stuff can derail everything. Luckily,
yeah,
the bar is set a little bit. I don't know. The bar is still a high bar, but it's not like you have to totally restore the car or finish the car.
yeah. Just get it there. As long as it runs and drives. Like we never said it has to have a windshield. It has to have interior. Like
Yeah.
I contacted Legendary because I wanted to put new upholstery in it, and they flat out told me they're 33 weeks out. I was like, holy shit. And I was like, even for Ember Gold, because the interior of my car is gold. Everything's light colored except for the carpet's black for whatever reason. And so I had to go to PUI. So I'll be ordering the seats from PUI, and there's certain things on this car because it's so nice that I just wanted to outsource the work to make sure it was done right. Like the windshield. I actually watched your video on doing, I think it's pretty old, the windshield gasket on Dorothy. And I was like, I think I could do the windshield in this car. But I'm like, dude, if I screw it up, man, nothing would annoy me more. I get the car done, I'm driving down the road, and it's whistling at me. That would piss me off so bad.
Right. Well, and it's different. It's different on your car because your car is a later generation. Like Dorothy actually has a gasket. By the way, that's a 4-door, and they don't make gaskets. For
you had to make one.
Yeah, I took two 2-door ones to make the 4-door one for that thing, and then it cost me $300 to get that windshield, which they also do not make. You have to get a used one. But your car, the windshield's glued in.
Yeah,
not a gasket.
It's gonna be a pain in the ass. So I was like, all right. There was things where I was like, I'm going to save money. I'm going to do it myself. And then I'm like, I could just see something stupid happening or me not doing it right. So there's certain things on the car that I am going to have done. One of them, the windshield and the back window, I'm going to have those installed.
Yeah.
The thing about the back window that is it's going to be a little problematic for me is that it's had the quarters replaced, and the quarters don't have the little knobs. You know what I'm saying? So I got to have to drill out, and so I'm like, man, I wish Pete had done that while it was in primer. You know what I mean? Because cutting into a freshly painted car is going to be a good God. You know what I mean? But so the glass, front and rear, I'm going to have done professionally. And then the headliner. I have watched so many videos on YouTube, and I'm like, you have to use steam And I'm like, I could see me just screwing it up. And I'm like, all right, I'll have that done. So then I was like, well, if I'm having that stuff done, I might as well have somebody do the upholstery. And a lot of the shops would not recover my seats if I kept the original foam. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, we just don't want to put our name on something that, you know, like we'll pull it apart, we'll put new foam on it, and we'll shoot the frames so they look nice. And I'm like, you don't understand. I just need the shit done. I just want them recovered. And they were going to charge me $1,000 just to put seat covers on. I was like, all right, I'll do that myself. But the glass is going to cost me basically $400 a hole, so nearly $1,000 for the glass. And the headliner, the cheapest quote I got was $1,000. And I'm like,
What?
holy shit. And I'm like, I really want to do it myself. But one thing that has always been a pet peeve of mine when I go to car shows, I see a really nice Mopar and I'm like, this thing is beautiful. And then I look up and I see the headliner and it's got fucking creases and shit and it's sagging. The car is just way too nice for me to half-ass it in certain areas. Like I wouldn't want to half-ass the headliner and go, I'll just have to redo that later. I'd just rather have it done right the first time. So I am going to do the seats myself. And because I'm using PUI interior, which is rumored to be way less quality than Legendary, I'm not even going to do the foams. I'm probably not going to shoot the frames. I'm just going to get them recovered just so they look half-ass decent. And then when the Legendary covers come in, I'm going to get those. But I had to, once I started wrenching on the car, I had to realize that with the time crunch, I can't do everything I wanted to do. Because I was trying to get, you know, the correct hoses, the correct hose clamps. And I'm like, whoa, dude. Whoa. What are we doing here? Like,
well, and the nickel and dime, because that kind of
yes.
shit, when you start doing all the factory replacement stuff, it's like, oh, it's, you know, I imagine the hose clamps. It's like, oh, it's $20 here and $20 there, and it's like, well, I need a water pump bolt kit to get the factory bolts and shit, and it's like, it's only $30-$40.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying to Jeremy earlier, dude. Is we've all done project cars, but for somebody that's just getting into this, you get lost on the little things. Like you get somebody that they're like, okay, for instance, they're like, okay, I got to get to Matt's in 90 days. And they've got a car like Chris does or Jeremy does. And they get hung up on getting the turn signals to work for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to prioritize, like, dude, like you have to get the engine fired up. You have to get windows in it. You have to get a seat in it. You have to get brakes, fuel, and a steering wheel. And then after you go around the block and you're like, okay, this is a car now that does car things, then you go back and you start picking at those little tiny things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, 100%. I've already come to the conclusion. I've already come to the conclusion, get it running. I have to pull the transmission to change the tail housing, and I have a new tank, new sending unit, all that shit. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to need fuel lines. So I got to get fuel lines. But my main goal is just to get it to fire off. When it fires off, then all the pressure's off. Because regardless of how it drives on the street, as long as I can drive it off the trailer and drive it into the show, then I made it. You know what I mean? I'm not even trying to win. Speaking of which, if you guys don't know yet, it's a championship belt. It's not a trophy. It's a fucking like a wrestling or boxing championship belt that we're having made. Because going back to the story, so it kind of Mike Coffey and I we were talking, and then all of our friends got involved, and we were starting to promote it. And Johnny, you were promoting it, and it got to the point where I was like, we better talk to Phil Painter, who's the mastermind of Muscle Cars at the Strip. And I was like, I just want him to, just in case, because Phil is notorious. He hates project cars. He hates them. He thinks they're a piece of, like, when I talk to him on the phone, because I'm an official ambassador for Matt's. When I talk to him on the phone, he's like, all right, so talk to me about your shitbox Olympics. Like, oh, man. But he's all joking aside, he's really stoked that, you know, we're making an effort to, like, bring a new aspect to Matt's and try to revive it, because you know, we were talking and he's like, yeah, it reached its peak about 2015 or 16. And then, you know, COVID hit, and then the rebranding from Mopars at the Strip to Muscle Cars at the Strip. Yeah. So this is actually like if what people need to understand is how much money is involved in holding an event at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't have an exact figure, but I know where it's at, and I
It's
know what's involved. It's crazy. And he's like, if I don't get the people to go, there's going to be no event. Like, he's dipping into his own pockets. It's
yeah.
it's crazy. Phil like is trying to keep this thing afloat, and he wants to make it better than it was.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, we just have to try different things. So,
Well, I think Roadkill is probably the first to shine the light on the fact that there's this whole genre out there that's
Yeah.
been ignored.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And when you have these car show events and stuff, the cars we're talking about, the project cars or the daily drivers, the survivors, the ratty cars, the patina cars, those cars are sitting in the parking lot. They're not
Yeah.
in the show. The guys drove them there and they walked into the show, but then, they're sitting in the parking lot because there's really nothing for them. I mean, I think the patinas kind of come around and
Mhm.
it's making its way into the car shows and stuff, but it's been overlooked for a long time. And I could tell you from my own, what draws me to it is it takes me back to my day, back to the 90s, because I was always broke. I couldn't afford a restored car. I wanted one, but my cars always looked like that. It
Yeah.
was like
100%.
faded paint, surface rust. I'd paint the engine compartment and the motor would be all pretty and nice and everything, but that was about as far as I can get. And it's nice to see that that's kind of coming it to its own. It's its own genre now.
Yeah. Well, it's important that they open the doors for the guys that don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars or a
Absolutely.
cashed out 401k. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Absolutely.
I do
Well,
see. I hold on a second, Johnny. I see a couple questions in the comments or
Yeah.
from the
go for it.
Power Shift. So for racing at Matt's, as far as the project stuff goes, if you can pass tech and you're not going to oil down the track and screw it up for everybody, you can run the project car down the track. So if you can pass tech, it's all good. And if you want, I don't think there's any issue with setting up some grudge racing and stuff. And we've been talking about all sorts of different things to bring the event back and attract people.
Yeah.
And then as far as rebranding the event, without getting into too much detail, because it's really not my place, but I'll give a little bit of a backstory of that. They never wanted to rebrand it. They had some issues with corporate as far as the name, and big companies, when the economy started slowing down, they said basically that it doesn't make good business sense to support or go to an event that's only Mopars. Because why would they do that when they can go to an event that has everything and they market to everybody? Mopars, Fords, GMs. So in order to not lose the sponsors that help make the show even possible in the first place, because there's so much money involved in this event, they had to rebrand. But one thing that hasn't changed, and I've noticed it the few years that I've gone, is that it's still Mopar heavy. It's still very Mopar heavy. But I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing in other brands. I really don't. But of course, I'm a Mopar guy, so the more Mopar stuff I see, the better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. I think going last year, I like the presence that the Mopars were there. I mean, we had a big footprint in the Mopar camp. There was a few GMs and there was some modern Mopars in there, which I think is its own genre. It's kind of separate from the old school stuff. But I'm all good with bringing everybody in and making the event awesome for everybody. If we could bring Chevy guys and Ford guys in, and it's like, well, you guys went to Duct Tape. Duct Tape's open to all makes and models and brands, and it was like everybody got along, everybody had a good time and stuff. So we know it's doable.
As far as the grudge racing aspect, I can tell you right now that Phil's pretty open-minded. So I'll actually bring that up to him. I believe I saw some promotion for I think it was a small tire shootout. So they're trying to liven it up, basically. So I wouldn't be surprised if they allow grudge racing this year. I'd have to talk to them just because, they run a lot of classes from what I've seen. And I don't think they would have a problem with grudge racing this year. I'll talk to Phil, and we'll keep you guys updated. But there's a bunch of stuff that I suggested to Phil that is in the works right now, but I can't say that it's been confirmed yet, so I can't really promote anything that we've been talking about. But there were some aspects of duct tape that I really liked, and I told Phil about it, and I said, hey, look, you need to have something like this at Muscle Cars at the Strip, because I told him, I was like, you need to make this the Muscle Car Festival. You know what I mean? It needs to be a festival, a party for muscle cars. If you like muscle cars, you want to party and have a good time, you know, and the little mini events within events. Like Project Cars at the Strip is essentially just an exhibition in the car show, you know, and we're trying to take advantage of getting more people with project cars to understand that, hey, your project cars are welcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, and it's a stepping stone too for a lot of these cars. These guys they're working on their car. Maybe they got it running and drive. Like I said, you got the engine compartment painted, motor and trans is in it. It's running and driving, but it still needs to be finished. Now you have something that you can participate in, even though you're not across the finish line yet.
So, Chris, let me ask you this. I might have read this incorrectly somewhere. So, to qualify to enter the event, Project Cars at the Strip, your car has to currently not be running at the time you make your entry announcement? Is that what it is?
That's what it started as.
Okay.
To be honest, the rules are kind of loose as far as that goes. We just want a bunch of project cars there. And most project cars, as you know, don't run or have some sort of issue. So that's what we were hinging on at first. But, I mean, if I had it my way, if it's a project, we just want to get projects there. And, you know, like I said earlier, I kind of hinted at the fact that I'm not even expecting to win. I'm not even trying to win. Just because I know that there's so many projects out there that it's like they're going to make way more progress, because whoever wins is going to be the person who made the most progress on their car. You know what I mean? For me, it's just a matter of going there and going, yeah, this was my project. Here it is. You know, this is, I'm planning on, you know, doing some sort of little display or being able to show how much progress the car made, and from the point that I got it to where it is at Matt's. But I know that there was some confusion because it sounded like, in one of the early promotions, it sounded like there was going to be a prize for who drove the farthest, and that's not the case. It's whoever made the most progress on their car. But
well, like Ruben's scenario is he's taking his Challenger, runs and drives now, but he's going to do a motor swap. So it's like that's
well, it doesn't run right now. So if I lifted up that hood, it has no intake, it has no carburetor, it has no alternator, it has no, you know what I'm saying?
You're good.
So technically it doesn't run. So I was like, all right, this will give me that push that I've been looking for to get the Challenger on the road. Yeah. So I was gonna do a video, but we'll, you know, talk about, we were talking about it earlier. For everyone that's in these lives, is the advantage you get when you're in these lives, you get inside information. So I was gonna build the 440 that I got in the corner over there, and I was gonna stuff it in the Challenger. And then to double up the ante for myself, like double dog dare myself, I'm going to drive the Challenger there.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So I think it's like 5.5 hours for me. You know, and me and Johnny were talking a few weeks ago, and I was like, dude, you know, it'd be cool for that event. Is, you know, a lot of cars get off the trailer, and you can get anybody could get their car fired up.
Yeah.
And off a trailer. I was like, but it'd be cool, dude, is if to like raise the stakes a little bit, and if you can't do it, you can't do it. Don't feel bad. If you make it to the event, dude, you made it. Freaking cool. But for the extra cars that are able to do it, we do a cruise down the strip and we go to dinner, dude.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Like that'd be some amazing content. Our cars rolling down the Vegas Strip, dude, with all the lights and shit and the GoPros and, you know, all the reflections, and I think it'd be super, super cool.
That's what I'm looking forward to most, is driving the project cars down the strip, dude.
Dude,
I'm telling you, man. I think they were talking about already doing that, dude. And I was like, see, that's fucking cool.
We were just gonna cruise. We didn't even think about making it part of the challenges. Okay, you made it there, but we're doing this cruise.
I think it's gonna be awesome. I think this, if you have any ability to get to Vegas, I think you're going to want to be there, and you're going to want to participate in that no matter what you drive. Even if you have a a restored car.
Yeah.
Like I'm just imagining. I mean, this is going to be like our own mini power tour. Down
Yeah.
the Las Vegas Strip. You don't
No,
want to
John,
miss
you bring
that
up a
shit.
dude. You bring up a good point, Johnny. There could be two different sections of this freaking challenge, dude. Like you said, even if you have a restored car, because there's a lot of guys watching right now, or there's going to be
Yeah.
people on Facebook that see this entry and go, "Oh, well, I've got a '68 Charger. Mine's finished. I'd love to go. I guess I can't play with those guys this year." Dude,
No.
come to the event and do the freaking Vegas drive. Do
Yeah.
the strip drive. And dude, wouldn't it be cool if instead of like say 15 cars went, now you let anybody go, but there's two sections of the event. If you got a nice car, you can do the cruise and you can still park with the project cars.
Yeah.
But to be judged on the project car section, it has to be a project car. Now you
completely
get double
agree.
the entries, dude. Now you get double the entries, and now we have a mob of cars going down the strip, dude.
That's what
Ratty
I'm
or
saying, dude.
project car or nice.
We want to
know?
open up the cruise down the strip. I think should be opened up to
Yeah.
everybody. And if we can
Dude.
make,
If we invaded the strip with muscle cars, dude,
fuck yeah, dude,
people would be like, "Where the fuck are all these cars coming from?"
right, right. And
Um,
dude, I mean, for all the guys that are YouTubers or that have some sort of social media, like you're not going to want to miss this. You're going to want to be hanging out the window or standing
Yeah.
on the street corner, filming all the cars driving by.
Well, and Johnny, we went to that. I hate to talk shit about it. We went to that dumb rally, and the only reason why I call it dumb is I'm like, God, we could have been hanging out at the track. It wasn't really what I expected, but I'm gonna see if Phil will make some windshield decals so that when we're driving down the strip, or some decals, period, people will go, where are these cars coming from? And they'll see muscle cars at the strip branding, and they'll be
Dude.
like, oh shit.
Yeah,
So it's like a fucking like let Vegas know, hey, the muscle cars are in town, dude. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I like that idea. I'm going to talk to Phil about
Hey.
that. And
You know what'd be cool with the strip, dude, is some stoplight to stoplight action.
oh man, could you
Uh,
imagine?
I'm not going to get into
Get my
any of that
shit impounded in Vegas. Oh
Yeah.
man. Joe's Mopar mess. Who's going to break down on the strip? That I've had fear of that. Like, could you imagine?
Oh, dude,
Like,
you don't
oh
wanna
shit,
break
I'm
down the strip,
overheating on this strip.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, make
We'll
sure you
have
have
to do
an
it-
actual
do it in the
mechanical fan,
evening.
not
It's
this electric
cool.
shit.
Well, you want all the Las Vegas lights reflecting
Yeah.
off all the cars, anyways, right?
yeah.
I think we should do it in the evening, and then
For
you
sure.
cruise back to the track, and then we, drink beer. And,
Because this is a special podcast or a special live that Johnny's doing, I will say that the things that I've been talking to Phil about and I've suggested and are in the works right now, as we were talking about, inspired by duct tape. I said, one thing I really loved about duct tape was the bonfire after the event where everybody was just hanging out, talking, and everybody got to know each other, and we were just partying. So we're working on a bonfire, burnout pit. We're working on that, and a couple other things possibly. But the idea was like we're gonna get RVs. We're just gonna camp out and just have like a circle. It's gonna be like the Burning
Yeah.
Man for
No,
muscle
yeah,
cars.
the Burning Man fest
Yeah.
for
muscle
muscle cars.
cars.
Dude, that's what I was talking about earlier. I was asking Jeremy, I was thinking about duct tape the other day, and I was like, Friday night at that bonfire, I'm like, I have little bits and pieces that I can remember. I woke up the next morning and I'm like, man, that bonfire must have been pretty good. I'm a little hungover right now. But
Ruben's
the
like, go
bonfire
get more beer, and I come back with 2 grocery bags full of beer, and he's like, is that full of beer? I was like, hell yeah, dude. I only have 2 hands. I got to fill bags. But it'll be fun.
The bonfire was a good time, man, and it brings the whole event together in one place
Mhm.
to just at the end of the day just have a beer. And I mean, you look over and it's like, oh, that's somebody, that's a YouTuber, or oh, those people own this shop. And it was just everybody came together, for a moment. It's pretty cool.
The other thing we're working on also, and trying to figure out the logistics of it all, was I was telling Phil that locally at the Good Guys show that we have, it's at a fairgrounds, and it's one of my favorite events because you go find your parking spot for the show, and at any time, there's no set time or anything. You can just jump in your car and cruise the entire fairgrounds. And so everybody's low speed cruising through the fairgrounds, and you're watching all these cars go. You can hear them. And I was trying to get him to figure out how we could not make a course or anything, but just like give it the green light. Like if you want to just go cruise around the event, through the pits and through the swap meet or whatever, obviously do it safely. But everybody loves hair and muscle cars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Show cars are cool. Don't get me wrong, but everybody lights up as soon as one of those show cars fires up. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Well, we got a car show in Riverside. We call it the Show and Go, and it's like Friday and Saturday. So Friday night is cruising, and Saturday is the car show part. So Saturday it's static. It's during the day, and it's fine. But Friday night it is going off because it's nighttime.
Yeah.
There's tons of people there, and you're just cruising through the whole event. And dude, it's kind of like going to a car show on your couch, because you get to sit in your car and look at all the other cars around you, and they're passing each other on the street too. So it's like you're able to see the cars, hear them, smell the exhaust.
Yep.
It is such an experience, man. Real quick, let's read a couple comments here. Jeremy Spears says, "Well, the lights would only reflect if they have nice paint." That's true, but the
winning.
Winning.
And then Ti Mopar 67 says, "Hello, Johnny Mopar, talking Mopars and Muscle City Madness."
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
But dude, if I get 440 thrown in time, I might rattle can the Challenger. I can't stand this orange anymore.
Oh man!
Put a coat of primer on it.
Yeah, just to get it ready.
I was telling Phil, I was like, "Look, dude, this event's in Las Vegas, man." And I was like, and it seemed like as soon as the sun went down, the event was like, "All right, shut down for the night." I was like, "You got to keep that thing going. It's Las Vegas, for God's sakes." I was like, why promote people leaving the track and go to the strip when you can just bring the strip to the track and just have a party? Aside from our cruise on the strip, which I think is going to be badass.
I think so too, dude.
I'll have some extra seats available in my car, so if anybody's like, I don't have a car, fly out to Las Vegas. You can ride with me down the strip.
There you go. When I make my announcement video, I'm going to put that in there, dude.
Hell yeah.
If you're going to this event, dude, and you do not have a car, I have a couple spots.
And just like at Duct Tape, what Ruben did, one of the guys that managed his channel walked up, and Ruben shoves a camera in his hands and it's like, you're my camera guy.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I need a camera guy, so anybody who wants to fly out.
Yeah. I
do know that a certain guy in Louisiana who messes with modern Hemis may be flying out. So
really?
Yeah. Blake from Sublime Technologies, formerly DIY Hemi, has been talking about coming out. I'm trying to convince Big Block to come out, but I don't know if we can make that happen, but that would be awesome.
That would be pretty awesome.
I will have I don't have anybody, and I haven't rented one yet, but I'm going to get a giant luxury RV because they're so cheap. I mean, you'd be surprised at what you can get a fifth wheel for. It's like $100 a night, 120 a night, and I'm like, all right, and it sleeps 9 people. So if you're worried about the cost, just get your ass to Vegas. Fly out to Vegas, and you will have a place to sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So is Phil? The drag racers, a lot of those drag racers just sleep on the track, right? Overnight. Yeah. So, I imagine
we'll have our RV parking for sure.
Okay.
Dude, Chris, we got to do an RV for Duct Tape next year too, man. I don't want to leave that. Yeah. I don't want to leave the track. I just want to stay there from now on.
Yeah, that way we can just have a good time at that bonfire.
Not worry about trying to make it to a hotel.
That was such a good time. And to be honest, once the ball got rolling on this Project Cars at the Strip thing, I was like, I just want to recreate Duct Tape in Vegas. That's just because I had so much fun.
Now that you're talking about it, man, and I have heard that the event has been declining. All the guys that go, I've never been.
Yeah.
But dude, you can revive an event like that, but you just have to kind of include everybody, and you got to give people a reason to go. Like word has got out that Duct Tape is a festival for ratty cars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I haven't even dropped any promotion in the Duct Tape Drags group because I'm going to. Like, hey, if you can't wait to Duct Tape, we're going to have a Las Vegas version.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and I think if we could get the social media guys, the guys that have channels like us, man, the more we can get them to, or the fans, the people that watch these channels, get other people to participate in it. The more we can get like this thing documented. You know, like
Yeah.
people are recording the event, and there's, you know, I mean, just imagine somebody hanging out the passenger window filming the row of old school cars ahead and behind on the, you know, under the Vegas lights. It's like once people see that, they're gonna be like, "Fuck, I wanted to be there. I should have been there." You
Yeah.
know, we want to make them so jealous that they.
It
were
has the
not
potential.
there.
It has the potential to be one of those events.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, Muscle Cars at the Strip is March 17th through the 19th, 2023.
Whew. A little over 90 days away.
A little over 90 days away. And it's funny you mentioned content creators, Johnny, because I've been talking to Phil, and we're working on reaching out to not just big content creators, but if you're a content creator, typically you would have to buy a booth to, say, sell merch or have like autograph sessions or whatever. But Phil's made it pretty clear that he's cool with content creators coming out. He won't charge you for a booth, and you can sell your merch, whatever you want to do, sign autographs or whatever. So there's some the names that he's been tossing around. I was like, yeah, if you can get them.
Yeah.
So they're really trying to make this event good. And, you know, I can't speak to the people that Phil deals with as far as the track people, but I can tell you right now that Phil is totally open-minded. As a matter of fact, he told me to make sure people know that if you have any ideas or anything to help make the event better, he's all ears and he wants to hear it. Not everything can happen, obviously, but he's definitely open-minded to new things. Like, he kind of shot me down, but I was like, you know, we were talking about a stage and stuff because they had a stage, and I was like, yeah, you should have like a bikini contest or a wet t-shirt contest. It's Vegas, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll MC it. It'll be great. So he didn't give me the green light on that one yet.
Yeah. Can't win them all.
But, can't win them all. But
Well, guys, on that note, I got to work tomorrow morning, but I will see you guys on the flip side, man. So a lot of
yeah.
stuff
Ruben.
to do this week, man.
Hell yeah.
And everybody in chat, everybody that watched tonight, Jeremy's live, thank you everybody for tuning in. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Appreciate it, man.
Later, Ruben.
All right,
All right, later,
Catch you
guys.
All right, so you already answered Jeremy's question, it looks like.
Yeah.
And then the power shift, the people that run the track are total jerks. That is one of the biggest complaints from all my friends that used to go. Getting one pass a day after paying top dollar for entry made me swear off going back. Actually, I could tell you that there was a point, and it wasn't the track's fault, or wasn't, you know, Phil's fault or those guys promoting the thing, but Las Vegas itself threw on this huge like entertainment tax, which bumped up what it costs to go to the event.
Yeah.
What I remember was right when that happened, it was like the participants, their participation like took a big hit, and it probably was around like 2017-ish or something like that, or maybe 15-ish. I don't know. I don't remember, but it's unfortunate, but that's
it is.
one
And
thing.
Phil really, like, he was talking to me about asking how much I thought we should charge people. And I was like, hey man, that's not my place. I'd tell you what I would be willing to pay. But I can tell you one thing. Phil is passionate about this. He loves this event almost as much as his own children. Like, this event is his child.
Yeah.
And you know, just him, you know, with the whole shitbox Olympics thing, just him going, you know what? Hey, I'm willing to try whatever it takes to get more people here. Because it really is. I can't stress enough, for those of you that haven't been to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, to have an event at that facility is amazing. It's an amazing facility. Like, just being there, I was like, I can't even believe that they have an event here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I would hate for it to
know,
go away.
Yeah, for people that don't know, this is not like some small backwoods racetrack or anything. It's like, this is like a super facility. I mean, they've got
millions and millions and millions, billions and billions of like, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
But,
you know, I think too, you gotta, even though it might be a stretch for you to drive that far, or to the expense of staying there, like, you know, like we're looking at these options about getting a RV and camping out on the track to save some money. Like
Yeah.
whatever you can do, like think about it from the hobby standpoint. Like we have to, those of us that can, you know, or we enjoy this hobby, we need to support the hobby at events like this, because
Yeah.
if we keep shying away from it and saying, well, it's too expensive or it's too far or whatever, and don't get me wrong, like I get that. I don't have a ton of money, so
Sure.
sometimes I can't go to everything, but the more that we can participate in this, the more likely we are to keep the hobby alive and events like this alive, and then, you know, hopefully have potential to make the events even better down the road. But if it dies off because nobody goes, then that's it. It's game over, you know. And on
Yep.
the West Coast, we don't have a whole lot of options. For Mopars, it's, you know, spring fling, fall fling, muscle cars at the strip, you know, even duct tape drags is it's far for me, you know.
Yeah.
It's about at the
Absolutely.
limits of me being able to travel. But you know, there's not a lot of other big events like that we can all kind of congregate to.
I need Las Vegas to survive because it's the a big event that I can make it to and potentially bring my car.
Yeah.
And I just happen to love that shithole city. I love Las
Yeah.
Vegas. But it's
Well, and the big advantage to Vegas is, like, in the past, it was like, well, because I mean, a lot of people vacation to Vegas anyways.
Yeah.
So if you can plan your Vegas vacation, you know,
Yeah.
you convince the wife, we're going to do a Vegas vacation. It happens to
Yep.
coincide muscle
Yeah.
cars at the strip.
oh honey, I think
win.
Muscle Cars at the Strip is this weekend too crazy.
How awesome is that? Let's go.
Yeah.
You know,
But Phil just wants the event to go on because, you know, talking to him on a personal level, like he's told me some things, and it blows my mind how dedicated that guy is to making this event a success. It is a year-round thing. It's not like 2 months before the event he starts working and getting all the permits and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like the amount of money and time it takes to host an event at a facility like Las Vegas Motor Speedway is crazy. Like,
yeah,
absolutely insane. Because there was a time where I thought, you know, if I talked to Phil, because eventually the guy's going to retire, and I was like, do you have anybody to like take the reins of this, you know, event? And we started talking numbers a little bit, and I was like, all right, it won't be me, but I hope it survives.
yeah.
Yeah, we really need this year in 2023 to be very, very good for turnout if it is to keep going.
Yeah.
And he keeps telling me that. I'm like, dude, I'm trying. Like, what do you want from me, dude? Like, it's killing me. But the first time I went there, like, it didn't even matter to me. Like, it was during COVID or whatever, and I was just like, I didn't care that it wasn't what it used to be. What I saw was, oh, this still has the potential to be what it was again.
Yeah.
You know, once we get over this bullshit virus and get people out and about and comfortable again, fuck, like, that's how cool I think like I said, the facility alone. Like, I've gone to like Beach Bend Raceway Park for Mo Party. It's a great facility, but it is nothing compared to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It blew my mind. And you could have, you know, 10,000 people and it still wouldn't pack the place out. That's how big it is. It's a NASCAR track. They got a NASCAR track there. So you're talking about capacity for tens of thousands, maybe 100,000 people. Like,
Yeah.
it's insane. So we're just trying to do whatever we can to get this event going. And hopefully, I'm hoping that Project Cars at the Strip, maybe this first one isn't 100 cars. You know, maybe it's only 10 cars. Maybe it's only 20 cars.
Yeah.
But I think what's going to set it apart is the footage of cruising down the strip. And we have to, as content creators, we really have to go above and beyond with our production on this one. Because we got to make sure that people, you know, I was seeing, when you talk about duct tape, it got rained out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Horrible weather. We got screwed. It was a monsoon.
Yeah. Friday was basically.
Yeah. And people were still like, oh man, that looks awesome. And it's like, you do
Yeah.
realize I thought it was awesome, even though we got rained out. I had a great time. And I'm like, Vegas has the potential to be that and more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You might not get some shit like total shit boxes running down the track, but if
Right.
your shit can pass tech, run it. You know what I mean?
Right.
The whole thing with Phil was like he just didn't want, because you know, hosting an event at Las Vegas Motor Speedway is not an easy thing to do. So the last thing he wanted to do is burn his reputation by having these shit boxes oil down their track, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I totally understood. I said, "Hey man, if they pass tech though, you can't deny them from participating, right?" And he goes, "If they pass tech, they pass tech." You know
Yeah.
what I mean? The time Mike Coffey and Tony from Mopars 5150, when they ran their ratty cars,
Yeah.
they may or may not have been teched. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But that was a special exhibition. But it was cool. That was awesome.
Right. And I think, I think it'd be cool to have something like that for us, but I don't really see that. Like when I think about duct tape, it's like I do want to go there and make some passes. But when I'm
For
thinking
sure.
about mats with my cars, it's like, nah, I want to go there and I just want to park my car and
Have a good time.
have a good time. And I don't have 100-point cars.
Yeah.
My cars are regular guy cars. They were 318 cars to begin with, but they're cool. They're hot rods.
Yeah.
And for the most part, there hasn't been anything for those types of cars in the past. Like I said, those were the cars that were in the parking lot when they went to an event like that.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to be able to hang out with like-minded people, guys working on their own stuff, and they're halfway through project or whatever. Cars are still in primer, or
Yep.
incomplete to some degree. And then I also think, like, what was really cool in the past too, when the cannery used to host, like they would do an event there, and it was like a car show at nighttime. So you can go to the cannery, you can gamble in the casino, and outside the street was full of cars. It was like a nighttime car show. And then inside they had like bands playing music, and they had really rare cars in there and stuff, which was all cool. But it wasn't like cars like I drive.
Sure.
We're invited to something like that. But I think the cruise is going to be, it's an everybody thing.
100%.
And you know what? When I'm just driving down the street and whatever, you see an El Camino in primer going down the road. I mean, how often do we look at it and go, that's cool? Compared to all the bullshit cars, Hondas and Toyotas, it's cool to see it, refreshing to see a primered El Camino still rolling around,
100%. I just this event has all the potential in the world to be the number one place for project cars. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you want to run them, you can run them. I don't know. Phil hasn't set up all the classes yet for what. I don't know how much is going to change, so I can't speak on it too much. So all I can really tell people is if you don't follow Muscle Cars at the Strip on social media, definitely follow them. You can follow them at MATSLV, so Mats LV. Make sure you follow them for all updates and stuff. Obviously follow us, and I don't know. I told Phil this is going to be a good learning experience because we'll see what went right and what went wrong, and I just don't really think it can go wrong. It's just a matter of getting the word out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And getting people hate change. That's another thing I was talking to him about. I was like, it sucks because it's like the event really hasn't, I mean, aside from the cannery stuff, but I was like, aside from the gambling, what do you lose by having bands and cars at the track and allowing people to stay there? You know what I mean? If I have an RV there, I'm just gonna bring my own beer, bring my own drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
The one thing when we were talking about the ability to cruise around is he's like, yeah, but you get a bunch of people drinking, and I was like, let's just try to promote people being responsible, because we don't want to blow it. That's the last thing that I would want to happen.
Right.
But I really think if promoted right, and if people can get on board with the idea of a muscle car festival in Las Vegas, I think this can keep on going for many years to come. It's like, hey, we're part of it. We don't have to pay what Phil has to pay, and we don't have to put in the time that man has to put in to make this event happen. All we have to do is bring ourselves and bring as many people as we can to the track, and it can keep going, and the event and we can have an awesome event at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I don't know what more you want. You know what I mean? So for the West Coast, like people talk about Carlisle, how awesome Carlisle is. People talk. I've gone to Mo Party. I think it's awesome. I wish it was on the West Coast.
Yeah.
This is the West Coast's, and I also heard about, your spring flings, your fall flings. You guys got a lot of cool stuff. I got to check those out too. But the thing about Las Vegas that trumps all those other events is that it has all the same things, or it can have all the same things, but you're in Las Vegas, which is Sin City. Let's have a fun party for muscle cars. I don't understand, what's so hard to, like, if I was from the outside looking in, I've always wanted to go. And now that I have the abilities to go, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to Muscle Cars at the Strip. So I just don't get it. And every year I've gone, even during the first time with COVID, the staging lanes looked pretty full to me. You know what I mean? Like, it did not look like they were struggling to send cars down the track at all.
No, I think the drag racing part of the event has always been strong. I've never seen it waver. It's like there's always a ton of cars. There's a lot of bitchin' fast cars there. I mean, if nothing else, that's like the staple to the event. I think it's the drag racing is awesome there.
Yeah, it's just hard. It really is. I was talking to Phil about it. I was like, look, it's social media is the only, like, magazines. I love them, but it's not the way it used to be. And the problem is a lot of those magazine guys that would see the advertisement make that their event of the year, they're aging out. You know what I mean? That Phil and I were talking about. I was like, they're aging out. And guess what? Most kids these days that are, my age, between, we'll say in their 20s and 30s into their 40s, a lot of us don't have we haven't cashed in our 401k. We're building what we can. The only reason why I have that Roadrunner is because I traded a ratty pickup truck. Don't ask me how that deal even happened. I got lucky.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for that, I'd be driving a ratty Mopar 2 and trying to get into a project car class. So the fact that he's opening that door and being open-minded to it is awesome. He did put some pressure on me. He's like, this is your show now. Like, that's your deal. He goes, I'm just going to follow your lead. And I was like, oh, fuck. I wanted to call Coffee. When he told me that, I wanted to call Coffee and go, dude, what did you get me into? I got enough shit going on. And now I've got this pressure from this event that I don't want to let Phil down, because he's giving me an opportunity and all of my friends an opportunity to prove this is an actual thing. Project cars are an actual thing. Now, if we show up with 10 cars, he's going to be like, yeah, 10 cars for the shitbox Olympics, huh? And I'm going to be like, fuck, man. I would love nothing more than 50 to 100 project cars show up and just shut the shit down and be like, Phil, you're going to have to open up a bigger spot for us, dude.
Yeah.
You're going to need a bigger championship belt.
I wish we had some big social media guys or some big YouTube channels in our corner that
working on it.
Have a lot of reach that can just like promote it, mention it, because I think that's the biggest problem is like, I mean, I'm a small channel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got a pretty good size reach, but I'm sure you're in a vein that, isn't widespread to a lot of guys like the older school guys that don't really hang out on social media. They won't even know that this thing is happening,
Well, and unfortunately for me, I'm only in the Mopar world. So I told Phil, I was like,
too.
I can't be a Mopar guy and try to sell a Chevy guy and go to Muscle Cars at the Strip. I said, that's going to be in your court. I'll give you some ideas of big influencers to hit up because they have big followings. And if the problem with social media is that so many things get watered down, and some people will, like, I know we went to Duct Tape and like I saw posts that were like, fuck, I didn't even know when it was. It's like, if it's not in your face, then you don't know shit. Like, you got so much shit going on in your normal life. It's not like you're like, oh, what day is Duct Tape? Some guys aren't like that. Some people will just see it and go, oh, there's a thing going on in Vegas for muscle cars? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So we're trying to hinge on, and if anybody has any, like, I should do a post on that. Tag somebody of influence that you think should go to Muscle Cars at the Strip.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea. And if enough people hit that particular channel, he's going to go, what is this thing about?
Some of the names Phil's talking to, I was like, that would be amazing because they have some reach and people listen to what they say.
Yeah.
Like I told him, I was like, I don't have that ability. You know, I'm not a TV celebrity. I don't have that celebrity status that these people have, where they have hundreds of thousands of followers.
Right.
Because it's your people are only a certain small percentage of your people see your stuff anyway. Like if I have 70,000 followers, maybe 1,000 of them see what I post.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I told him, I was like, so you need to take that and you need to 10x it and try to get as many big names to at least promote your event.
Yeah.
And say, hey, you want to hear about a cool event? Here's one. You know what I mean? Even if they're not going. But the fact that he was like, look, if there's an influencer that wants to go and sell merch, I won't even charge them for a booth. They can do autograph sessions, whatever they want, as long as they show up and promote the event. I was like, that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
I was like, because as an influencer or a social media personality or whatever, a celebrity, you want to get out there to your audience and be personable with them.
Yeah. And how cool would it be? I mean, if you got a big YouTube channel and these automotive channels, you always have some sort of car. Will it run video, a resurrection or whatever it is, a restoration, and you could bring it to the event. Like when we went and we saw the I'm drawing a blank on Welder Up. The Welder Up guys and all their big projects and stuff. It was like, that was pretty cool to see, because you see all this stuff on TV and then it's like right there. It's right there in front of you. So I think it'd be pretty awesome, especially if you can have a lot of the guys you follow or channels you like. And then it's like, I've been watching this car being fixed or worked on or built or whatever. And it's like, I am able to come right here and actually like touch it. You know what I mean?
No, some of the cars are bigger celebrities than the actual people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's, I'll let you guys in on a little inside baseball. There are some people of influence that make you pay them to come out. Like, oh, well, it's going to cost me X amount of dollars. I'm totally the opposite. Like, if I knew that there was an event going on and I could benefit from it and get in front of my fans, if I was a celebrity, get in front of their faces, sign autographs, sell merch, like, I'm not going to charge you to show up to your event. Just don't charge me for a booth. I'll show up. You know what I mean? Like, they have the power to capitalize on that, but they get that celebrity. I'm going to charge you $5,000 for an appearance. Get the fuck out of here! $5,000 to show up at my event? Piss off, dude. I don't subscribe to that at all. But unless somebody just absolutely just reached out to me and said, "Hey, $5,000 to show up to my event," then I'd be like, "All right, I'm not gonna say, hey, keep your money." I'm not gonna say keep your money. But if I reached out and said, "Hey, man, come to this event. I'll give you a spot," blah blah blah, and they said, "Yeah, you're gonna have to pay me an appearance fee." Get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
How insulting. But I'm gonna do my part to try to get this event badass. And I know that you're on board, and all of our tight circle of friends are all on board. I guaranteed Phil, I said, look, if nothing else, me and all my friends are going to be there. And when we're there, it's going to be a party. So we're going to have fun no matter what. It's just a matter of how many more people we can bring. So,
Dennis was over here the other day, my buddy with the 69 Charger Pro Street. And he was like, because I got the wiring ripped out of the Charger, but I still haven't put it back in and stuff. So I'm still behind the 8 ball, but he's like, "Are you worried at all?" And I go, "Nah, I'm not worried. I'm going either way." Like, I think I have plenty of time to get the Charger ready, but even if I don't make it with the Charger, I'm going to bring the Duster. I'll bring the Duster, and it may not be in the, project car section. Maybe it's in the regular car show section. It's not a show car, but I'm going to freaking be there. Yeah. Either way, something's going to be there running.
Oh, I can promise you that the car is going to be there. Now, whether it qualifies for the thing or not, it's going to be there with me. I'm not. That's one thing.
Was my other backup plan is like, if I brought the car and it wasn't finished for whatever reason, I'm going to jump in somebody else's car in the passenger seat and be their cameraman.
Hell yeah. So. It's going to be a good time no matter what. One regret I have, but I did enjoy it. Like when I took the Mr. Norm truck to events and I heard people go, "Oh, I've seen this on the internet. That's awesome." Because I got to see it in person. Yeah. That always got me like right in the feeler. I was like, "Oh man, that's so fucking cool." And I feel exactly.
Felt that when see Mr. Hyde and your Duster at Brona. I was excited just to see them in person. Yeah.
I mean, I was excited to see Mr. Hyde and Dorothy. I was like, and Sort of Stock Mopar's the Dart. I'm like, wow, because I've never seen him in person. So it's like when you see him in person, it's like a different Yeah, and it's
different
just
feel.
cool. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
the cars are the celebrities in their own right. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but I just I know that we're gonna do our part and we're gonna show up and we're gonna have a good time. But I'm just trying to get people to understand you can join in on the fun. It's gonna be fun no matter what. If there's 1,000 people or 100,000 people, it's gonna be fun no matter what. And it's
Yeah.
an event that you probably don't want to miss if you like to have a good time around muscle cars. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So
Well, we're just about at 2 hours. We're just seconds away from hitting 2 hours. So I'm thinking
awesome.
maybe we'll call it there.
All right.
And dude, let's do this again on your channel or
Okay.
something. And
And we got to
maybe
get coffee. We got to get coffee on.
yeah, definitely. Well, and I think too, like we didn't really talk too much about our project cars. We didn't really dive into that. So maybe we can do something where it's like, we get into some depth backstory on my car, on
Yeah.
your car, Jeremy's car, Ruben's
Sure.
car, Mike Coffey's car,
Yeah, let's do it.
Dennis's
And what-
car, whatever.
What we can do too, Johnny, depending on whose channel it's on, it doesn't matter. Like if we go on mine, I'll send you the file and you can post it on your channel too, and we can just share it.
Okay.
Like it,
Cool.
I'm not too concerned about how many people. Like if it gets watered down by being on multiple channels, I don't care. I'd
Yeah.
rather just more people see it.
Cool.
So let's
I
do
don't
that.
know if because it said something about my space. It may not be recorded or something like that. So,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't know if you can copy it off of YouTube or something like that. Feel free to, or you can share it from YouTube.
Yeah, I'll share it. I'll
Okay.
share the chat. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's no big
do
deal at
that.
all.
Cool. All right,
But yeah.
guys. You always offer this to me. Where can you be reached, Chris?
You can find me at talkingmopars.com. That's the easiest place to find all the places to listen to the show. Follow me on social media at Talking Mopars Podcast. I'm on YouTube now. Please subscribe. And that's
Yes.
pretty much it.
We
Just
got
out
to
there
get his
doing the Mopar
YouTube
thing.
channel pumped up there. He's
Trying.
behind. He's like way behind on his YouTube channel.
God, so behind. I finally broke 1,000 subscribers, and then I looked at the watch hours and I was like, I got to start cranking out videos. This is ridiculous. I'm only halfway there.
Yeah.
little over halfway, but it's a challenge, but we'll make it
And-
happen.
And to follow all the muscle cars at the strip information, best place is
At Matt's LV, MATS LV. That's Muscle Cars at the Strip, and you can always just hashtag Matt's or Muscle Cars at the Strip. You'll find their page. I'm not sure if the website has been updated yet, but I will be sure. If you follow me, just keep your eyes peeled because I'll let you guys know when it's time to register. Because you do have, it's not a free show. You do have to register to get in, but it's nothing. It's not going to be crazy, and I think it's a good value. So.
right. Most of
we'll,
those postings I've been seeing around it have been on Instagram. So I don't know if they're stronger
They're-
there or
They're pretty heavy on Instagram. Yeah, Phil likes Instagram. But usually they cross post Instagram, Facebook.
Right.
So you can
Right.
follow them anywhere, or most of the stuff that I share in regards to Project Cars of the Strip or Muscle Cars of the Strip is all information that they share.
Right.
I know that Phil likes to use some of the stuff that I create, so that's fine. But yeah, and Johnny will be sharing stuff too. So just stay tuned to our channels or our
Yeah.
pages, and you'll
And
get
you
all
guys-
the inside scoop.
you guys watching this, man, spread the word. Tell your Chevys and Ford buddies and
Yeah.
relatives that
Mhm.
they're welcome to come as well. And
Yeah. Even if you're spectating, just come out and have a good time and party with us.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I guess that's it. We'll call it a episode. And thanks to everybody in chat for watching. And there's more to come. So
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Johnny.
yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming, man.
All right, buddy.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.